Greetings to all. Another car ride. Going to give me something to eat. And just thought I would let you all know exactly why I'm starting to make these videos and telling my testimony. The number one reason is I'm being obedient. I have a story, the things that I've been through, that the Most High, the Abba, He's healed me from. And my healing was to help others heal. This is not any healing that a therapist did. It's not any healing that any type of mindfulness, yoga, anything did. This is healing from the Most High. He healed me. And there was a lot of things that I did to try to heal myself. A lot of things in the world that I tried to do to heal myself. But I just want to start off with talking about, how I grew up. Growing up, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And there was a lot of good. There was a lot of good. I can't deny it. Like growing up, I had my mom and dad for a time. They were married. And I had my grandparents, my granny, my pawpaw, and my dear. And when I say my grandparents instilled the word in me, like I had to learn Bible verses. I was at Sunday school and church and vacation Bible school and Baptist training union. I grew up Baptist. So there was a lot of things that was instilled in me that to this day help me, as well as those prayers. Ooh, I tell you, the prayers of your grandparents and your parents, they really take you far, because you don't know what you're getting into. You think you know. You think you understand, and you don't, because this world will chew you up and spit you out. So just growing up, like I said, I had my mom and my dad, for a while. They were married. Me and my little brother. My little brother, he's about 5 years younger than me. And we grew up in a happy household. My mom, she pretty much stayed home. My dad was out working. I enjoyed the days that my dad came home, because I would hide from him. And he would come in the house looking for me. And, I would be hiding in like my little fort or something like that. This one particular house, we had a pear tree. I liked going in the backyard, picking pears and taking them to the neighbors. My little brother, he was like a toddler, and my dad would put him in his bike, on his bike. My dad had a bike that had like a little baby car seat on the back, and I would be riding my little bike. So it was fun. Those type of memories almost make you think of Full House or something. I don't know. But my mom, she was very sweet. She was always up, doing things, praying and reading her scriptures. Praying and reading her scriptures. My granny, praying and reading her scriptures. My other grandmother, praying and reading her scriptures. My pawpaw, praying and reading his scriptures. I repeat those things because that's what I knew. And that's what I ended up coming back to. Praying and reading my scriptures. Hallelujah. So again, I had a good childhood up to a certain point, and even when I got to this certain point, it wasn't that it was horrible, but it opened me up to some things. I started feeling guilty and sad, and so my mom and dad, they divorced when I was in elementary school. And this is the bad part. So I told you the good part. This is when we get to the bad part. The divorce was heavy for me. Like, being a child and having both your parents there, and then all of a sudden not having them there, you feel some type of way. I don't know if it's resentment. I don't know if it's guilt, but I felt some type of way. And I didn't know how to deal with that. I really didn't. And I really don't think, my mom and my dad knew how to deal with it. It was just one of those things that happened. And, people get divorced and they still love each other and care for each other. So I knew that was the case because there wasn't a lot of back and forth and anger and my mom trying to keep me and my brother from my dad. Like, that never happened. My grandmother, my dad's mom and dad were still very much involved. But, once my mom, they divorced, my mom, she didn't make a lot of money. Like, she was a teacher assistant. And in the early 90s, even teachers didn't make a lot of money, So a teacher assistant for sure didn't make a lot of money. So we had to move in with my grandmother. And, my mom, she was on welfare. We were getting food stamps and things like that. Just some of the normal things a lot of us have gone through. And to me, like, I didn't see anything wrong with it, especially, where I was living. Like, everybody, pretty much was on food stamps, didn't have a lot of clothes, or, that was the norm. But I was happy. I still was happy, I just know I missed my dad. But, going to church and playing with the neighborhood kids, and, during this time, that's when I, like, met one of the best friends I ever had. Actually, we're still best friends to this day. As well as, at the church, I met my other best friend, met, people that I call my sisters, during this time that are still very dear to me. So, during this time, my mom did end up dating and she met someone. And I didn't like him. Like, I don't know, as a little kid, I did not like this dude. Like, I didn't like him. And, they dated and, she had us around him. And I was like, oh, something about him. At 10 years old, I'm saying it's something about him. Because I remember I was like in the 4th grade. And I remember one time she went to the store or something. And by this time, she had moved into some low-income apartments. And she had left us to go to the store or something. And she left us there with him. And he told me to wash the dishes or do something. I can't remember. And I didn't do it when he wanted me to do it. Now, mind you, I should have been obedient and, wash the dishes. But, being a rebellious child and this ain't my daddy type of thing. He went and got like this plastic thing. I had a little microphone set because, I love to sing, people that know me. And he went and got this little microphone piece, the actual stand, and whooped me with it. Like, oh, wow. That alone, I knew it's something, this man ain't right. You want to discipline me, with a rod. Now, I know spare the rod, spoil the child. I understand that. But he never really even got to know me to even be a father figure. But you want to whoop me. Okay. So, y'all excuse me, my allergies are really, really bad. The mountain cedar is high. So fast forward, they get married when I'm in middle school. And, during all this time, we still never really have a relationship. Like, he doesn't take the time to get to know me. And I meet his children, and they don't live in the state. They came down to visit. And I look at their dynamic and their relationship, and he don't really have a relationship with them. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe he just don't know how to have a relationship with children. Maybe, is it awkward? I don't know. But, he played softball, so we would always go to his softball games. And then, he did go to church or whatever. But as far as like his faith and stuff, I didn't really see in him what I saw in my family, in my dad, and my mom, and my grandparents. I didn't see that in him. And even being that young, I knew in my spirit, I'm like, man, I don't think he really knows the Lord like that, So, now we're going to get to the ugly. So we did the good, we did the bad, and now the ugly. So, going into high school, in middle school, I danced. High school, I tried out for the dance team and I made it. I was ecstatic. Like, anybody knows me, I like to sing, I like to dance. Back then, I played basketball and I ran track. And, so I was just a very active person. very active in the church. I just was active. I didn't let no grass grow under my feet, as the old people would say. So this particular time, my freshman year of high school, I went to dance camp, getting ready for the new football season. So it was in the summer, and we were getting ready for school to start, and of course football season to start. So as a dancer, we had to make sure we knew all the dances, for the halftime show and all of that. Now, that dance camp wore me out. Muscles, everything was very sore. And I remember coming home and complaining to my mom and my stepdad about it. And, my mom was like, oh, just take a shower, a bath, and let your muscles relax and things like that. Take a bath with some Epsom salt. Y'all know Epsom salt, cures everything, right? But my stepdad, he was like, well, I used to be a trainer. And I was like, oh, for real? He was like, yeah, I used to be a trainer, athletic trainer. And, when athletes would get sore or have injuries, there were certain things that we would, as trainers, we would do, to help them with their injury. And so he told me some things I needed to do, stretches and stuff like that. Then he also said, well, I'll tell you what, when you take a bath, in the Epsom salt, I'm going to massage those knots out of your muscles. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'm thinking, oh man, he really cares. Like I said, I'm in the 9th grade, and I'm thinking it's kind of weird for your stepdad to rub on your legs and stuff like that. I didn't think anything of that. And this particular day was a Bible study night. So I normally went to Bible study with my mom, but I was so sore. I was sore. And I'm very dramatic, so I probably was limping around the house and all of that. I don't know. But she left me. She said, okay, well, you can stay here. And I remember my mom telling me something told her to turn around and come back and get me. So my stepdad was like, just put on some shorts and a tank top so that I'm able to get to your legs and massage your legs and stuff. And I'm like, okay. So, I go in the living room, and I'm on the phone, I remember, because at this time as a teenager, who wasn't on the house phone all the time? So I'm on the cordless phone talking to somebody, one of my, best friends or somebody. And he's massaging, my legs or whatever. And I noticed as he's massaging, he's getting higher and higher, close to my butt. And I'm like, okay, are you going to say something, or what's going on? And he massages and touches my butt in my private area. I kick. And I'm like, let me kick, because I don't think he meant to do that. And I'm still on the phone, and I didn't want to say anything, scream or say stop or anything like that, because I didn't want them to know, what was going on. So I said, he stopped. He went back down, and he started massaging down, by my calves and stuff again. And then he started massaging upwards again, towards my thigh and my butt and my private area once again. And this time, his fingers, actually go there. So I said, I gotta call you back. I hang up the phone, and I get up and I run. And I ran into the kitchen, and I remember him coming after me and asking what was wrong. And I'm like, what do you mean? What's wrong? You just touched me, Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I was just trying to massage everything. You can have knots in your butt and things like that. I said, well, you didn't tell me that. And something like that, I don't feel comfortable with you doing. But you not only touched my butt, you touched my private area. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I really did not mean to do that. And being gullible, I accepted his apology. But here's the kicker. He was like, don't tell your mom. I'm like, okay, I won't tell her, We don't want her to be upset about something I did, through a mistake. I didn't mean to do that. So, didn't tell my mom. Now, mind you, during this time, there was, I was a curious teenager. There was a lot going on in the world, things that I was privy to that I should not have been. Videos, pornography that I had seen that was actually in my house. So there was a lot, that I had been open to spiritually, these portals that you open looking at things like that, perverted spirits and things like that. So this opened me up to something that I had no idea was so traumatic to me. Now, mind you, the divorce was out. I already had trauma from the divorce. Then trauma from, my mom getting remarried to this man that I don't think I knew did not like us. There was trauma. So I had sores and things festering within me, things that I needed to deal with as a child. I didn't understand that these spirits were already on me. So there was a lot that happened after that. The ugly got ugly. And that's a very detailed story that I do want to share. And I will share. I'm gonna come back and share that information. And I have talked to my husband about this, so he's aware and he's okay with me sharing for the sake of helping someone else. But I just kind of wanted to give you all a brief synopsis of why I'm doing this, a little bit about me growing up and kind of what led up to the things that I'm going to tell you, the testimony that I'm going to share, what happened, why was I a teen mom, and just a lot of things. Now, mind you, all these things happened before the age of 20. I lost my mom by the age of 20. So all of this that I'm telling you, that I'm going to tell you, happened in a span of 5 years. And then I had to deal without having my mom at the age of 20 and try to be a young adult and a mom and in college. I went through some stuff. I did. But I'm here to say I'm on the other side of that, and I have healed. So just wanting to encourage someone today, you get a chance, take some time to pray to the Most High. Thank Him for this day. There were some things that He didn't have to do that He did, and I'm grateful for it. I'm going to share a scripture at the end of this video, and I will be posting another video about exactly what happened in my home with my stepdad and, how I survived that. So, thank you. Shalom, and all praises to the Most High. This little light, I'ma let it shine.